So I have basically been no-lifing Path of Exile 2 since it came out, and it's really, really good. Path of Exile 2 launched this week, and yes, there were some server issues, but once you got in and once a bunch of people started being able to play, they were having a really good time. Now, I have been playing quite a bit of this game. I've been playing Mercenary for my Ascendancy. I went with Witch Hunter, and let's just say I have been literally deleting bosses because there seems like there might be a bug where minions will just instant delete a boss. So if a boss has any minions on the field, there is a chance that they just instantly explode and kill the boss instantaneously. I don't know what it is in the build that's causing that to happen, but I will take it. So all of that said, why do I really like this game? Well, first of all, it's very, very challenging, especially if it's your first time playing. You're not going to be able to just run in and nuke everything. I mean, unless you're using one of the builds online. I went in completely blind. I've just been figuring out the Mercenary for myself. And I really, really like the challenge of it. I like that you have to figure out, okay, this boss has a bunch of immunities. How am I going to take this boss on? What can I do in this situation where minions are rushing me? How do I want to adjust my build so that I can better attack this particular problem? And I've been really, really liking that. And I like that you can kind of build into whatever you want. I've heard of people playing the Mercenary saying, I want to do a bleed build. And there's people out there looking at graphs and such, just trying to decide which route they want to go. And I really, really love that about this game because it's for a lot of people, it's an unknown quantity. It's new. It's not Diablo. It's not as easy to access as I would say Diablo 4 is. And people are really, really enjoying the fact that it feels like, what did I say? Elon Musk tweeted that it feels like Diablo and Elden Ring had a baby or something like that. And I think that's a fairly good comparison to what the game is trying to be. Now, I got to do a bunch of previews for IGN. I just released my Witch Hunter build over on IGN, so go check it out if you're curious about what I'm playing with specifically. But it's just fun. I'm starting through again as Mercenary, and starting over, I changed a few things, and I really like that you learn the more that you play. But one thing that I've noticed as I'm playing through is like every single time I go to a new area on the map, it looks pretty unique. I just wrote down a few of them off the top of my head. I was in a desert. I was on a moving train. I was in the red sands. I was in the jungle. I was in a forest. I was on top of this cool temple. And I'm excited every single time I go to a new area to see, okay, what is Grinding Gear Games going to be throwing at me next? What is this world going to look like? And that's sort of a treat within itself. And then on top of that, you're wondering, okay, what kind of enemies am I going to fight this time? On the train, for example, you're fighting a lot of, I don't know what they are. They're like masked assassins or something like that, and they'll rush you, and you got to figure out how to deal with that. Early on in the woods, you fight zombies and witches and wolves that will rush at you. You'll fight skeletons when you take on the King of Rust early on in the game. And it's just constantly throwing variety at you. By the time you get to the sands, you're fighting scorpions and these crazy looking little critters that you need to figure out how to explode. And it constantly is keeping me on my toes. I really, really love that. And I love the fact that there's just all of these biomes and things like that. Now, there's some stuff that I still need to learn. I need to figure out how gear works. Like, how do I get better weapons in the game? What is the methodology to get that? Because right now the game does feel a little bit cheap in terms of what they give you for resources. And I am hoping that I collect enough resources based on what I've learned through my early access opportunities that I've had through IGN, and how I can utilize that in the full game. So that's stuff that I'm still considering. And if you have any tips there, definitely let me know, because I will be looking for armor tips. Like, what kind of armor should I be statting into for my grenade build? What sort of main weapon should I be using for this build, etc. And then on the bosses, I fought a handful of bosses, and man, every boss feels like it has like a unique thing that you have to figure out or a pattern that you have to solve for. And I really, really like, again, it's just keeping you on your toes. It's almost like a treat the first time that you fight a boss. Well, unless you get stuck on one, I suppose. But you have to figure out, okay, is something not working with my build? Do I need to try something new? And the game does a good job of just teaching you that you need to change your build without making you, scratch your head or something like, oh, what's wrong? Like clearly something's wrong with your build. You need to go get better gear. You need to go get better stuff. You need to come back at it. The first time I really hit a wall was with the boss at the end of Act 2 was really, really difficult to get by because it has a bunch of immunities, and I had built a mercenary that largely dealt with flame damage, and I was hoping that the mercenary would be able to just melt everything like it had until that point. But that boss ended up being a big challenge. So I had to respec my character, get some new gear, get some new strategies. And I went in, and my strategy going in when I went back at it was, okay, I am just going to debuff this guy as much as I possibly can and then hit him with fire damage. And it worked like the second or third try. I also encountered that with the Act 1 boss, where you kind of are like, okay, this is the boss at the end of the level. What am I not figuring out with this boss? What are its patterns? Granted, the Act 1 boss is much easier than the Act 2 boss. And how do I need to adjust accordingly so that I'm not falling by the wayside, so to speak, or getting left behind? I really like Path of Exile 2 so far. I can't wait to play more. I'm excited to keep playing. I feel like every time I turn it on, you've either learned something that you get to implement the next day with your new build, or you get a chance to try out a new skill gem or some support gem theories that you get to do. And you actually, in my opinion, like unless you're using one of the guides, you actually have to go, you have to read the skill gems and you think about it, because I'm doing it without a guide. So I'm trying to figure it out for myself. And I'm really enjoying that discovery that, okay, what do I need to learn with my build? What do I need to learn with DPS, and how do I strategize to have the most effective build possible? I'm just having a blast. I just want to record a quick video talking about my thoughts about Path of Exile 2 and just say that it's a really fun game. It's available now in early access. It's $30. I have a ton of stuff over on IGN. You can see my early previews of all the character builds. Mitchell just put out his every class and like what you could consider playing as. We sort of worked together on that with scripting and capture. Mitchell did all the work though, like I'm not getting credit there. So go check that out if you're interested in like what all the different classes are like. I just put out my mercenary build, which is like one-shotting bosses for some reason. And I really like the game. So if you like Path of Exile, if you're having a good time, let me know about it in the comments below. Or if you're not having a good time, if you don't like it, I'd love to talk about it more. I want to record a quick video just saying, I really like this game. I think they've really hit a sweet spot here. I hope it holds on like the original Path of Exile did and keeps growing from here, because right now I'm having a blast. I just can't wait to play more and get my build in a good spot. This could be like a 10-year game for me. We'll see. We'll see. I haven't had good luck with some of the games that I've wanted to be my 10-year game. Like we won't talk about Anthem, but Path of Exile could be a very fun game that really gets its hooks in and keeps him coming back. Let me know what you think. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. Well, you let me know what you think, and hit that like button if you're already subscribed. Thank you so much to the members for supporting this channel. I do greatly appreciate you. If you want to become a member, you can click that join button right down there. Thank you so much to all the members. I do greatly appreciate all of your contributions. You help to keep this channel going. I'm going to get out of here, but I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.